Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Wednesday, September 9th, 2020 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is my holistic journey is my responsibility. And in our holistic journey today, we have Mars going retrograde. Mars is going retrograde in the sign of Aries at 28 degrees Aries. This is the first time in about 30 years, 32 years that Mars has gone retrograde in Aries, and I think it's part of the 2020 revamp that's going on. All day long, I have been just hearing news of fires. So whether it's fires in Colorado, fires in Oregon, fires in California, crazy fire news going on. And that to me connects so deeply to this Mars retrograde energy. I really believe that there's nothing in the world that doesn't have something to teach us. I believe that the divine often works with symbols with us. And I think we need to really pay attention to these fires. I mean, I lived where there's some fires right now. I lived in Santa Cruz where there were fires. I live near here where there's fires. Like, so many. I'm not a fire starter, just saying. But these fires, to me, they speak of our inner fires. And to me, one of the things that's coming up to be aware of as we go through this Mars retrograde pulling us in, making us do the inner work, is for us all to check in with our inner fires, with our inner temperament. Again, whether you believe in global warming or not, the temperatures are shifting. And again, as earthlings, this does affect us. So where is your temperament currently? What fires are you still trying to quell or subside within that need to come up and maybe burn through some energies? When fire energy comes up or Mars energy comes up in the astro, so often what I think about is anger, the energy of anger and frustration. And if we look at this year, we've seen a lot of that outside, and I'm sure for many of us, all of us, we have felt that inside. Now, anger is not bad. Like, anger can be very justified. However, holding that anger, constantly kind of feeding and fueling that anger and not dealing with it, not dealing with the fuel, not dealing with the original maybe spark, that's where we get into trouble. And so let these fires, let this Mars retrograde teach us to look within. Look at those places where you're angry. Look at those places where you're burning. Look at those places that you feel simmering under the surface. I often say, tend to your volcanoes. This is the time to tend to your volcanoes, because doing this can completely help shift your trajectory. Now, again, I'm not saying that anger is bad, and there are times when it is so strongly justified, and it is even, it can be very motivating. I do prefer to be motivated by the force of love than the force of anger, because I feel like it puts us on, again, very different trajectories to be motivated by anger versus love. But again, this is something to look at within yourself during this renewal, during this reset. And I also feel like some of these things have been simmering, maybe having like a low, dull burn. My feeling is that they are going to be brought up to the surface with this Mars retrograde. So again, we really do want to address these energies. Why? Because my feeling is if we don't, they lead to war. Whether it's war within ourselves, war with another, hopefully not war between countries, but this is the time to look at these energies within yourself and just again realize, how do I say this? I feel like there are vibrational clouds that can kind of come over the planet And so we feed into these vibrational clouds. There's the vibrational cloud of joy, and there is the vibrational cloud of peace, and there is the vibrational cloud of unrest and fear, and there is that vibrational cloud of anger. And we want to be very aware of that. Now, also interesting, this Mars retrograde will be going through November 13th, which means here in America, we will be having an election, a major election in that time. And no matter what side you're on, there are going to be some very angry, frustrated energies bubbling up no matter what the outcome is. So, again, we want to be conscious of that energy. Also, Mars reminds us of our power. Mars is that root chakra energy, but it also tunes into that solar plexus chakra energy. You have power beyond what you have been told. And it's not just in like, what am I creating? What emotions am I feeding into the emotional clouds? You are so powerful beyond belief. And so hopefully this Mars retrograde can recheck you into your power reality. Mars energy, Aries energy, it is the warrior. We each have the archetype of the warrior within us. How are you in your warrior self, in your warrior archetype, being called to show up in this energy? Again, we all have roles that we are here to play. What is your role? And do you have, I don't want to ask you if you have the strength and power to step up, because you do, but have you accessed that strength and power within yourself to show up in that role as you are being called into it? So that's another awareness in this energy. Now, on other levels of things, Mars retrograde can be quite a challenge on relationships. So we had Venus already go retrograde this year. So Venus went in, did a lot of shifting around, and is now direct and hopefully supporting Mars, that young energy, as it goes in and does its work in regards to the paradigm shift. I do feel like this means for the yang energy in all of us, that action-oriented energy, that drive, that focus, that motivation, that we will go in and make shifts according to the changes that have been made and the changes that still do need to be made in ourselves and in our world. At this time, there's something getting into mischief out there. Anyway, so this is a call for that. Now, everybody has yang energy in them on some level of the scale, but there are the people who identify more with masculine energy are definitely going to be feeling this on a more intense level. Mars retrograde is definitely a call to be able to stand back, step back, release that control, release that need to do. So be aware of that. You may feel your energy, your production, all of that drop way down with this Mars energy. And again, I think that's one of the lessons that we need to learn in this world, because we are treating ourselves like robots and not like humans. So be aware of that in and through this energy. And it may cause stress. It may cause strain in relating. Again, whether it's inside the relating between your yin and your yang energies, your feminine and your masculine energies. And it can be a stressor to outside relating. If you are a yin, are you these words never feel right. Anyway, if you are more feminine identifying, and with somebody who is more masculine identifying, you may find your frustrations spiking a little at this time as they go through this renewal and reset. It's like resetting a computer. Sometimes it takes time, so be patient. But again, address those frustrations. What is the root of that? What's really there? Finally, the last question I want to bring up with this is tuning into our motivations. Come here, little thing. What is your motivation? What is that driving force? What are you here for? What are you passionate about? Going in, renewing that within yourself, whether it's recommitting to those energies, or if it's something new that comes up, like, oh, I am motivated by love, I am motivated by peace, I am motivated by joy, I'm motivated by the drive for everybody to have a good life. Whatever that is, check that motivation, and then again, call to see, or see what the call is for you, how you are called to step up into your warriorship in and through that energy. This is powerful. Last thing I want to say about this is Lilith energy will also be kind of aligned with Mars as it goes retrograde. Lilith energy reminds us to go our own way. This is in Aries. Aries, the sign of our I am. Who are you really? And are your actions in alignment with who you are really? I love that this is going to be, working as Chiron is working through Aries. We are going to have those squares with the Saturn, the Pluto, the Jupiter, that Capricorn energy, which is, where we have let authority outside of us guide us into who we are. We can shed all these layers with this Mars retrograde and reset into something more truly aligned with that I am energy. So this is really powerful. I'm actually really excited about it. But again, be aware of those energies simmering under the surface. Also, you can check out my Patreon video that I did with Marsha where we dug into this. Now, besides this going on today, we have the sun working with Jupiter, and we have the moon working with Mercury. So moon in Gemini, Mercury in Libra energy, Gemini energy. They want to connect, they want to talk, maybe have a discussion with somebody. Like, what are you angry about? It's an interesting thing. So we had an NET session for our little kitty the other day because she eats clothing. She doesn't anymore, actually, because of that session. And it came up that she was doing that due to my anger. And I'm like, I'm angry? Am I angry? I don't really identify with being angry. And I sat with it, and I realized my anger was at this repeat pattern that started with my mom. And so we worked through that. She literally will walk right by the fabric that she used to eat. So be willing, okay, there may be something sitting, anger simmering beneath me. What is it? And maybe reaching out to those who, you connect with could support that. Sun, trine, Jupiter. To me, this is like, hey, don't give up. Keep working these things out holistically, body, mind, spirit, soul, heart, to build what we are building anew. This is part of our responsibility of the rebuilding. And again, the rebuilding starts within ourselves and recognizing all of those pieces. So often we'll just go from the mind piece. So often we'll go from beyond the mind and just from that should piece. So to connect in with all of these levels of yourself, you can really rebuild something holy, holy and connected. And that can help shift your life. I think we'll end that there. So happy Mars retrograde. Let's dig into these inner fires and hopefully work on this level to help put out some of those other fires. Sending lots of love to any of you who are being impacted by the fires, whether it's smoke or evacuations or hopefully nothing even more beyond that. Oh, cards. Courage. Oh, it's interesting. I had this card when I did the Patreon with Marsha. I had it in reverse. So, finding the heart of things as we tune deeper in. What are we fighting for? What is that motivation? Looking deeper into what that energy is. Looking into the heart of matter so we can bring the heart to it. So, all right, you can book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. Besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and stay curious. Namaste.